Yo, what's good, planet Earth? My name is Tony Madness with another installment of Forgotten Gems, where we resurrect and bring back great music that may have been lost over the course of time but definitely deserves a revisit. I'm broadcasting live from beautiful, sunny, and hot as shit Orlando, Florida. A hoodie like this may not even be necessary in the wintertime. It's beautiful. Today's Forgotten Gem is from my 90s heads. It's Crew the Dirty 30. You remember that one? How could you forget? It's a good one. Fire album. This album was so smooth. I had it on cassette. I remember getting my cassette taken away in 10th grade in my art class. Fuck y'all. Crew consisted of Chatty-O, Yogi, who did all of the production on the album, and the Mighty High, who I believe was locked up when the album came out, so he's kind of like on a few tracks on the album. This album was released in 1997 on Def Jam. The album was 30 tracks. What? The album's title refers to a section of the Bronx that Crew is from. The BX, baby! 30 fucking tracks. Album cover was fire. And arguably, one of the best rap logos in the history of hip-hop music. The three MCs in Crew all stick out with their own unique styles. I think they were a great blend of three different types of MCs. Chatty-O was like the more in-your-face New Yorker type storyteller and well-known graph writer. Yogi was the laid-back, nasally, Q-tip-esque flow, which is funny because he mentions it on that shit. You know, a lot of cats say that I sound like Q-tip. And Mighty High was like their Flavor Flav, their Sen Dog, their ODB kind of, you know, crazy hype man, spliff star that kind of interjected things here and there, even though he was only on a handful of tracks. The group's original name is Rhythm Blunt Crew, which you can hear on a few tracks here and there. I guess the rumor is that Russell Simmons didn't like the name Rhythm Blunt Crew. It wouldn't sell or whatever, so it was shortened to just Crew, C-R-U. This was a full double-sided cassette if you're my age, or, you know, a full album on CD. It had 2 singles. Well, 3 really if you want to count Pronto before the album really came out, but it had Just Another Case, although Slick Rick wasn't in the video. I don't remember why. Maybe it was some Def Jam behind the scenes stuff. And Bubbling. Just Another Case had Pronto kind of at the beginning of the video. You know, when they used to clip one song at the beginning and then bust into the single. You know how it goes. Rappers. Just Another Case was a straight banger. Beautiful song. A lot of people remember that one. And then Bubbling, which is more of the chill, relax one. Bubbling. That's a party joint. Just Another Case, man. It was a storytelling song, and who better to have on it than Slick Rick the Ruler, the greatest storytelling rapper of all time, unless you're counting Nas. But I mean, the chorus was based on one of Slick Rick's lines from Children's Story. Even the remix had the Mona Lisa drums in it. Yogi's production on this is solid the entire way through, with standouts like That Shit, which is just a hard-ass, kind of mellow, hard beat. I don't know how to explain it, but play that one. Boom. Another good one is Pay Attention. Whew. Every song leads into the next, even with the little skits kind of, you know, giving the bridge into the songs and all that. You know how rappers do it. Pseudo underground but pseudo commercial, kind of the in-between space for that era of the 90s. It was perfect riding music. I mean, you could put this in the car and you could drive to any state. Man, I drive across water listening to that music. It's that good for riding. It's definitely nighttime music, I would say. Oh, yeah. The album also had some standout features that a lot of people had forgotten about. They had Black Rob, Nothing But and Recognize, and The Lox, Live at the Tunnel, pre-Bad Boy debuts. They even had Ras Kass make an appearance on the Ebonic Plague, which is crazy. Banger. It saddens me that this album didn't do better sales-wise, considering Just Another Case had basically all the right ingredients to propel it to #1. Even without the Slick Rick co-sign in the video, you know, he was just missing from the video. The song was still one of the most memorable songs from that time period in 1997. And even after that, you know what I mean? Just Another Case's sample of Rhythm's 1976 song "The World Is a Place" is the perfect sample to elicit emotion out of somebody, or memories, and that's the type of lyrics that they brought to that type of song, and it was the perfect blend of content and production. It really sticks out in my memory, and it really draws that type of feeling out of the listener. It really should have done much better than it did. I think, there was an ushering in of a whole new style of commercialized rap, or commercialized for that time. And Crew kind of fell within that Def Jam period where, some of the artists didn't even come out and some were kind of forgotten. You had Trigger the Gambler, Cormega, both just had shelved albums. It's really a weird time for Def Jam, but some of their best music actually came from that time period, even though it's so forgotten. I think the standout track. I think the standout track is, I think for a lot of people I know, is Armageddon. 1 to the chest, 2 to the back, 3 to the face with my gat. Armageddon is another piece of storytelling, except this time it is a giant shootout and murder fest by all rappers that were popping at that time. There was so much rap beef in the 90s, Blah! Before Twitter fingers, there was lots of trigger fingers. Everybody wasn't on the internet like that back then. And this song kind of highlights that in a satirical type of way, where there's a giant party that turned into the bloodiest murder fest you could ever imagine. All of your favorites got clapped up. Nobody was safe. Blood everywhere. It was awesome. If you go back and listen to this album, definitely pull up Armageddon. You may not even recognize some of the rappers listed, but a lot of them were very popular at the time, and a lot of them still are legendary. And all of them are dead on that song. Every time I think of this album, I think of Just Another Case, and I think of Armageddon. Armageddon definitely stuck out. There hasn't really even been a track like that maybe since then. I'd really have to think hard on that. There may be. Last Emperor, Secret Wars? But it was definitely the first of its kind in my memory. I think this album definitely stood the test of time. I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend busting out your 1997 Jeep, throwing the bass all the way up, wait until the sun goes down, and ride around listening to this shit. It's that type of album. So where's Crew now? I think 2/3 of Crew are missing in action. Chaddio, I think, maybe put out a solo album in like 2009. Mighty Ha kind of disappeared from the map, and Yogi, I see his name pop up on production here and there, but for the most part, they disbanded after one album, and that was that. But damn, it was a good album. Overall, I think this album is fantastic. I couldn't praise it enough. I love it. It gave me chills just listening to it back again, and I think you should check it out. Pull it up, get in your time machine for 1997, and check out Crew, the Dirty 30. That's another forgotten gem. So hopefully I put you on to something you hadn't previously heard before. Or if you're already up on game, that's dope too. But if you're feeling what I'm doing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. And follow me on Twitter at Mr. Madness or Instagram at Tony Madness. And if you got some albums or some songs that you think deserve a little bit more shine, put them down in the comments. I'll definitely check those out. Again, my name is Tony Madness. Go watch Bodied. And come check me out next time when we run that back. Peace.